Hey, everybody. My name is Justin Gatlin. I'm the pastor of Alvin Missionary Baptist Church and a professor for Texas Baptist Institute in Henderson, Texas. I was teaching a class today and talking to some of my students about visual filters, and I thought it might be helpful to point out some of the stuff that visual filters can do to you, so for you. So very quickly, very easily, some simple stuff here. So for a visual filter, you're going to go to Documents right here, and you're going to click New and just click Visual Filter. A visual filter is dynamic highlighting. So you give the software some conditions and it will automatically highlight those things. It is convenient because you can adapt it however you want. You don't do it all manually. The caution with visual filters is that they can slow your software down. And so we want to restrict them to kind of what we're specifically working on. So when you just open up a blank visual filter, you can name it whatever. I'm going to make a visual filter to make a red letter Old Testament. Okay, fairly straightforward. So I'm going to call it red letter OT. And again, you want to kind of restrict your passages to what you're working with. For something like this, it's fairly straightforward. It's not too big of a deal to just do Genesis through Malachi. If you've got an older machine, though, then you might have to do like whatever specific section you're studying, Genesis 1 through 10 or something, and adjust it as you go. So I'm going to do speaker God. Okay. And now I'm going to make that red foreground, make it red letter. And then I'm going to do speaker person. You can always put person. Sometimes it's implied, but angel of the Lord in quotation marks because there's spaces there. And that's going to make it a red foreground too. And then speaker person Holy Spirit. I'm going to make that red foreground as well. So then I'm going to go to a Bible. I'm going to go to Genesis 1. And you can see that the visual filter has automatically highlighted let there be light as red. Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters as red. It's automatically boxed that in, or it colored that red for me. So that's pretty easy. You can do a morphology search to do a to categorize things by the by the morphology, parts of speech and stuff. But I just do a simple Bible search. Anything you can put into a search, you can turn into a visual filter. So, excuse me. So if I go to search here, and I go to Bible search, and I look at these search templates, I can find Old Testament passages used by New Testament author, New Testament passages used Old Testament. I've already got that, and so I want to find a citation of anyone in the Old Testament, Genesis through Malachi, and it's showing citation. So this will give me a search for every one of the 216 times that the New Testament cites the Old Testament. It's showing citations right now where it's explicit. I can add a quotation, parentheses here, and do relationship quotation or relationship citation. Put some closing parentheses there. Let me zoom that in so you can see that a little bit more clearly. So I just took the default search, cookbook search, and I put this in quotation and parentheses and added this other option because it's got some as allusion, some as echo, some as quotation, and some as citation. So I want to narrow it down with this. It's going to show me every time the New Testament quotes or cites the Old Testament. There's 308 now. Well, then I can highlight this, and I can go to Documents again and make a new visual filter. And I'm going to do New Testament use of Old Testament. And I just paste that search. And let's say that I want it to make all of the times that the New Testament cites the Old Testament, I want that to be bold. So I'm done. So now I'm going to go to Matthew 1:27. And you can see, behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son. They shall call his name as Emmanuel, which means God with us. It's highlighted because I have it as a search, right? It's a box. It's boxed because I already made another visual filter doing something very similar. So if you go to formatting, under the formatting tab, here's the visual filter thing here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't zoom back out to show you, but I just copied and pasted that search string here, and in this drop down selected bold text. So in this, I can go through and I can select, I can right click and do unselect all, and I can use New Testament use of Old Testament. I can pick which ones I want it to show. So I can do that. Let's say I want to check these two, New Testament use of Old Testament and red letter Old Testament. In the New Testament use of the Old Testament, I can flip it as well, right? So I can make it show things in the New Testament, but I'm going to replace the word source with the word target. And so, of course, I'm going to replace Genesis through Malachi with Matthew through Revelation. And instead of making those bold, I'm going to give those a blue underline. You can make any custom highlighter style you make. You can always right click here and add new style in a custom palette. So you make a new palette and then you can add whatever styles you want in it. And so I can make it look however I want here. Sorry, I did it again, didn't I? So any style I want to make, I can do that like that. So as soon as it's done, it works. So I'll go back to Genesis 1, which is certainly referenced in the New Testament. And if I scroll through here, then I can find the red letter stuff, and I can find I've had it set to only citations and quotations, so it's missing allusions and stuff. But like in the beginning was the word. That's an allusion, not a citation. But I can always check it to make sure my search is right by doing a search. And so it's going to tell me the first one, Genesis 2:2. So that's something I guess I missed, is if you scroll quickly. Oh, it's a blue underline. I was looking for the wrong thing. Sorry. So a blue underline in this is going to tell me this is cited in the New Testament. Bold text in the New Testament is going to tell me this comes from the Old Testament. But I can pick anything. I can pick something more obvious. I can make it its own line. If it gets cited somewhere in the New Testament, I could give it a yellow glow. If it's cited somewhere in the New Testament, you can do it however you see fit. And it just makes it an easy way for you to take advantage of the powerful tagging and logos and bring all the information the software has for you up to the surface. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions about visual filters, let me know in the comments. But they are a simple, powerful way to automatically create highlights and draw your attention to the things that you want to see. All right, thanks. God bless you and have a great day.